Attention, attention. Now is all you've got. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, set up for success and preliminary leading up to our next 30-day Get Up and Go challenge. October 1st through the 31st, we'll do yet another Get Up and Go challenge. If you are new to the Get Up and Go challenge page, go ahead and check out and join the Get Up and Go challenge private group. It's free to join. Just answer the questions and pop in, because there's 5 units now of different Get Up and Go challenges that you can listen to. Did a 30-day Get Up and Go challenge in April during the pandemic, looking for some way to contribute, some way to keep moving forward, some way to keep me going, as well as helping other people to do the same. And doing a challenge. I love challenges, been doing them for decades, literally done hundreds, if not thousands of challenges. I've done so many of my own as well as other people's. And as you get to know me, you'll hear more and more stories about why and how I use challenges and have used them in the past to create some incredible results for myself and for other people. But that's not here or there. Right now is what we want to talk about. We want to talk about now. And I said attention, attention, because one of my daughter's favorite books is by Huxley, and in it there's a bird that lives on an island. I think the island's called Paul or something. I can't remember. Read it a long time ago. But my daughter loves this story so much that she actually has a tattoo of the bird on her, I think her right lower leg. She was going to get it on her foot, but figured out that would hurt too badly, so she had to put on her lower leg, her calf instead. And it's beautiful. It's the colors, it's colorful, it's beautiful. It's just like the bird in the book, or her version of an imagination of the bird in the book. And I do think that the bird is on the cover. Again, not here or there. But the bird throughout the book, when the person lands on this island, is always yelling, attention, attention. And the purpose of that is to bring you into the present moment, so that you actually wake up and pay attention to what's going on in your life and around you and in you right now, more in you than outside of you right now, but to pay attention to the present moment, to pay attention to now. So I thought that was the perfect way, and thank you to my daughter for reminding me of that, because I forgot about the story. A perfect way to remind us that now, the present moment, is really the only moment that we have. And so often we are focused and thinking about the past. We're thinking about events, and I don't know about you, but I've got events in my life that I relived over and over and over again. Might have been a 5 or 10 minute event, but I blew it up and I lived it in my mind hundreds and hundreds of hours on different days over decades, because I didn't let it go. So we tend to focus on past events and think about them and relive them, and it's not always in a way that serves us. So we spend a lot of intermittent time throughout our life thinking about the past, reliving the past, worrying about the past, regretting the past, all a complete and utter waste of time. Because can any of us change anything that's happened in the past? I don't know anybody with a time machine yet, so I'm going to say no. At this point in time, this juncture, we do not have the ability to go back and change anything that we have done before. Anything we felt, anything we've experienced, anything we've said or done, can't change it. It's already happened, and all we can do is act in the present moment right now. Now is the only time that we can act. The future, a lot of people spend a ton of time worrying about the future. I would say I have spent a lot of time planning and thinking about and envisioning what I want for my future, but not a lot of time worrying about the future. And maybe I have a slightly different perspective, because I did have a death experience 10 years ago now tomorrow. So maybe I have a different perspective on the future. I absolutely positively know, and we all know intuitively we all know we're going to die someday, and we're not going to continue to exist on the planet. We're going to die, right? We're all going to die. But we still plan for the future as if it's inevitable that we're not going to die. And we spend a lot of time thinking about planning, oh, someday I'll do this, someday I'll do that, then I'll be happy. If I get this in the future, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be whatever. Maybe then I'll have peace of mind. Then I'll be whatever it is that you want to be. But the truth is, our future is not guaranteed. Any one of us, and I've said this for a long time, even before my own personal experience, we could get hit by a bus tomorrow. And maybe you live somewhere where there aren't any buses, and go ahead, you're not going to get hit by a bus. But we don't know what our expiration date is. None of us know, and it's different for each of us. And how it happens, that's the mystery too. We don't know how we're going to die unless we're doing things that endanger our lives. I mean, if you're doing high risk things, if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're doing certain activities, the probability that you'll go sooner is increasing. But that doesn't change the fact that there's nothing we can do about what our future is going to be, and we don't know what that's going to be. It's absolutely positively uncertain. Now, there's certain things that we can do now in the present moment to ensure we have a future if we take care of ourselves. If we don't do dangerous, high-risk things and activities, and it doesn't mean don't do those adventurous things. It means take the necessary precautions to do those dangerous things. If you want to jump out of an airplane because that would give you a thrill and you're looking for that experience, go ahead and do it. Just make sure you have a parachute on, right? Make sure you take the necessary steps to ensure that you have a future. But the truth is, there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee in life that you will be here tomorrow. There's no guarantee in life that you'll be here for the rest of today. And that's just, I think that's part of what makes life so fun, is it pushes us back and reminds us to act and think and feel and be. Pay attention to the current moment. Pay attention to what you're living right now. I think as I've gotten older, I've definitely learned the value of being present, living in the present moment, not just going through the motions of my life. When we're younger, we tend to think that we're invincible and that nothing's ever going to happen to us, and we've got lots and lots of years to experience things. So we take things for granted. We take our families for granted. We take people that we love and care about for granted. We take our friends for granted. And everybody doesn't do that, but a whole lot of us do. And we spend time on things that just don't freaking matter. If I look back on all the time I spent and wasted on ridiculous, unnecessary activities. Of course, I didn't know they were ridiculous and unnecessary until I lived into the future and looked back on those activities and said, oh my God, what a waste of time. I'm thinking of things I did in one of my businesses, for an example. For about a year, and which this is when I woke up to and I said, okay, this has got to stop. Every day, I spent probably an hour putting into the computer all kinds of data, all kinds of information, every invoice we received for the business and everything we paid out, all of the things. And an accountant's going to yell at me because they're going to say, yes, you have to do that. It's very important. Yeah, it might have to get done, but I didn't have to be the one to do it. Did that for a year, put in all this information, all this manufacturing information, all this data, collected it, never did a thing with it. And not just accounting, but accounting, production, manufacturing, every different function of the business, information into systems and spreadsheets and things. But I was so busy doing other stuff and so busy doing that unnecessary activity for that whole year that I didn't actually act on any of that information. I just collected the information. Talk about a silly activity. Now, all I needed to do, and all I did do, was tweak and stop me doing all that activity, broke it into little pieces so that instead of it being me spending an hour or two a day doing that, it was a bunch of other people just making it part of their everyday routine and their normal activity. So the information was available. And then, guess what? I started using the information to make decisions about the business instead of just collecting it and not doing anything with it. So that's an example of, and there's so many examples of that in our life. So many things that we do that either we could delegate to someone else and we could spend time with the things that are really a high priority to us. I think about starting my own businesses and how much time, my original intent and purpose of starting my own business was so that I could spend more time with my kids, spend more time with my family, not miss any of their events and activities, because they were both very involved in different sports and activities and things, and I didn't want to miss any of those. Yet, having my own business, I didn't set up the structure initially that I could do that. I set it up more like my own job with a whole lot of stress and 100% of the responsibility, and not all of the people and tools and systems I needed in place. And I found myself spending less time with my kids, missing out on stuff, and I put the halt on that and started to build the infrastructure I needed so that I could actually achieve the result I wanted. But like so many others, I got into that trap of not actually creating exactly what I wanted. And the only time we can do that, the only time we can make the decisions and the choices and the take action toward what we want is right now in this current moment. There's a lot of really good books written on the importance of now in the present moment. I say if it's a subject that you're struggling with, go ahead and find one of those resources. Eric Tolle, not Eric Tolle, it's Tolle, whatever, I can't remember his first name. He's got a whole book about now that's really good. I guess the whole point about this is remember that we need to be present with whatever we're doing. I remember early on, when I was at work, I always felt guilty that I wasn't with my kids. And when I was at home, I felt guilty that I had stuff at work that still needed to be done. And I wasn't present. And I look back on that and I'm like, huge lesson learned. Because you can't get that time back. One of the things we can never get back, we can get more money, we can get more toys, we can get more anything, but we can't ever get more time. And since we don't know how much time we've got, why would we ever squander or waste that? So love to know, how much time do you honestly think that you spend in thinking about the past, thinking about the future, and in the present moment? Just break it down for yourself. You don't have to share that, but if you have a lesson learned about that, go ahead, share that in the comments below so that we can learn from one another. Like I said, it seems like when I was younger, I spent a ton of time thinking and worrying and fretting about the future. Intermittent sprinklings of dwelling on the past or thinking about the past, or if something bad happened, then your brain starts to feed you all the bad things that have happened in the past. And as I get older, I seem to spend much more time just being present, experiencing my life right now, and that's a lot more fun. All right, have an amazing day. I will be with you tomorrow with another setup for success lesson learned over my decades of experience. If you have any questions or need any help, hit me up in the comments below.